This week's episode is sponsored by StevieRayMMA.com. Stevie has just been recording BJJ instructionals. He's just released the front headlock system, which includes the Darce, the Anaconda, the Guillotine, and many more. There isn't a better time to buy. It's currently on sale to celebrate the launch of the website. www.StevieRayMMA.com. This week's episode, I'm joined by PFL and Cage Warriors veteran Brian Hyslop. Thanks very much for coming along today, Brian.
No worries, bro.
Aye.
Pleasure.
So, Brian, the first thing I was wanting to ask you about was obviously you've got your fight coming up next. I know you just fought in the PFL, but you're going to be fighting again. When is it?
February, and I'm fighting in Alloa Town Hall on Goliath, Chris Duncan's show, and it's good. I think 16 years ago or 15 years ago I had my first ever MMA fight in the same hall.
Oh, right.
So it's full circle. I've travelled and I've done a bit, and then I'm back to the same hall for a fight, so it's good. I'm looking forward to it.
Aye.
And it's at flyweight again, so my last fight was at bantamweight. It wasn't really my weight. I think flyweight's more my weight. So
What's flyweight? Is that
57?
57.
57,
aye. Right. And your last fight was obviously the PFL against I forgot his name again. The guy that Lewis McGrillen fought as well, is it?
Marcus Zarakovs.
Zarakos, aye. We were actually at that
Nice,
night.
aye. Good show, wasn't it?
To see Stevie, aye, it was brilliant, aye. Some great fights as well. That Lewis McGrillen's fight, did you see it?
Brilliant. Lewis is fantastic, isn't he?
Aye.
Just knocks everybody out. He's just chinned somebody off for the 100 grand.
Unreal, eh?
Brilliant.
A left hook.
To be fair though, he fought Zarakovs before a few months before Zarakovs fought me. Zarakovs took him a distance.
I've seen that.
So he's not a mug, you know what I mean? He was a really good opponent. Nice
a good
guy,
guy,
as well.
aye. Oh, aye,
Really
definitely,
good
aye,
guy.
aye, definitely.
To take Lewis the distance, because he's chinning everybody with that left hand, you know what I mean? It must have a bit of something about him.
Aye, definitely.
Definitely.
Chaos, eh?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to have a go with him in the world, but that's a hard fight. That
Aye.
a few bantamweights and flyweights are right. I know I can read them and go, that's a tough one. I'd have a go with him, Dave. But for instance, Peter Yan in the UFC, I think he'd be a really hard fight.
Aye,
Just
solid.
some guys I think their boxing will be good or whatever, you know. What I mean? But I'd have a go with him, Dave.
And you're back, you said off camera, you're going to be doing this camp back at higher level then through James.
High level and with Robert Whiteford and Chris Duncan, I kind of mixed between the two of them just now. So
Aye.
I've got a good wee setup with that. Robert's like a big brother to me. I'm really close to him, and his coaching is I usually train alongside him, so I'm on the mat with him. And I learn a lot with that. In fact, I don't really like going to a class, somebody showing a technique and I go over the technique, and my brain doesn't really work that way. I like to be active with an opponent and a training partner, and they're showing me something and I click on a bit there. Don't know if it's the way I like to learn that. So when he's on the mat and he's still 41, he's still active and trains with UFC fighters and stuff like that.
Aye.
And you're learning that from every day. And then when I go to James's, there's all these young, hungry fighters, amateurs and pros, my weight, tons of them. And James is a fantastic coach as well, like the way he runs his sessions and the stuff he says and that. And it's like a different thing. It's like I work with Ab and then I go and do the training with the boys in there and try and defend myself as much as I can.
Who does James get you sparring with at higher level?
There's a few really good fighters in there. Aaron Oliphant is an amateur bantamweight. He's super
He
good.
just won again, eh?
He just won a title,
aye.
He just won a title. Stephen Clancy Simmons, Sean Clancy's brother, he's a nightmare.
Is he your weight, is he?
Well, bantamweight, a bit just above bantamweight, but I'm a flyweight now, so he'd be a hard opponent. He's just too tall, man. And there's a lot, man. Dean Housley's fantastic as well, really great wrestler and that. And I also train with my cousin Frank Hyslop.
Oh, is he your cousin? I thought it was your brother.
No, he's my cousin.
Right,
so
right.
my brother's corner, my brother boxes as well. My brother fights MMA in Portugal as well.
Right.
But Frank's started training at the Grip House, which is I class, and he's like just still been fighting for a few years, but he's fucking super good, man.
Aye.
So I get a lot of rounds in with him. He's like my wee kind of training partner. If I'm training with Robert, for instance, Frank will come down and give us a hand. I train with everybody, man. I've trained with Rhys McEwen the other day, trained with Jassim Beg, I was training with guys, Gary Priestley up in Stirling, Alloa. I'm a wee nomad, man. I'll just give it everybody.
I think I've seen that actually. Guy's a good grappler.
Brilliant, and a lovely guy, man. Lovely guy.
He's-
He's just turned 40 as well. So I'm 38, he's 40. It's just we're older guys.
I'm
And it's
37.
good. Aye. You look younger than that. So we're the older mob, and it's good to had experience with him back in the day. And then that's like 15 years ago. Now the two are still active. You know what I mean? It's a good wee kind of relationship that.
Is that Gaz you're saying there?
Gaz, aye.
He's a lot more involved in the coaching side of it as well now.
He's got a good wee team. Good wee team.
And I think Stevie Way's there as well. Is he still coaching as well, or is he just jumping for rounds?
I've been training with Stevie Wirab in MXP in Stirling. So they're kind of holding a wee session where guys get together on that. It's pretty cool. So a lot of cool guys travel into that. And Stevie's, he's super solid, super good jiu-jitsu. He's super lovely guy, man. We spend like fucking half an hour every session just talking away. He's a great guy.
He's very genuine.
He is, man. He is. He's real. He's real as fuck.
Definitely. He was on the podcast a few weeks ago.
I seen that.
And we jumped in and done some rounds with us as well. I've not trained with him since I was maybe a blue belt or something. I was like, I still got it.
Nice. He's super solid, super fit. But more jiu-jitsu, that's what I was saying to you earlier on, like jiu-jitsu versus like MMA wrestling. I find that when I'm on the ground with him, it's like very, very slow and technical and that, but it's super, super hard. And then, for instance, if I'm in with like Robert or the guys at higher level, it's like more MMA focused. We're kind of fighting to get on top, and a little bit more wrestling involved as well. I do more of my sessions like that. I don't really do so much jiu-jitsu just now. But to be honest with you, like, so there's only a limited amount of sessions I can do in a week.
Right.
So, like, I can't focus on everything, but I should actually maybe spend a bit of time, if I'm no fight camps on, get a gi on and go back to the technique and all that. I've been a blue belt for like fucking 15 years or something, because I don't do gi. I don't ever go to gradings, and it's no really what I do, but I should probably focus a bit more on that. So I love jiu-jitsu. I love the sport, and I love like when you're older and you're 60, 70, 80-year-old, you can still train hard for your age and your ability. You can't do that boxing. Boxing, you're stopping about 40 odds. You can't really go hard boxing sparring.
No,
you know?
definitely. Same with MMA as well.
That's it. It's MMA.
Shots to the head.
You can't do too much MMA. I see Paul Reed. Paul Reed was a guy that fought a lot of the like Dinky Ninjas back in the day from England. He's 53. I think his last fight was when he was 50. He started at 37, and he's actually considered another fight.
He started fighting at 37?
Started fighting pro at 37.
Pro, right.
No, well, when I started fighting, I think altogether, MMA.
Really?
Aye. And
Started
then thought he was 50.
Wow.
But I think he maybe boxed before it.
Right.
But I remember this is like when he's in his 30s, 40s or whatever. He was fighting all these Scottish guys up here and was doing good. And then all these years later, I'm connecting with him again and going, "Are you still training?" So I got a lot of advice off him. I'm not saying I'm old in that, but I'm older than what I was. And then I was saying, well, how do you compete still at 38 and that? And he was giving me great advice. A lot of don't steam in and try and like fight everybody and try and get your cardio through sparring, which is what I used to do. Just kind of leave a lot of your conditioning outside, which is a great bit of advice.
What about yoga? Did he mention that?
I do yoga myself. I do yoga myself. I love yoga, mate. I love yoga.
It definitely helps.
I've not done any with Stevie, but I want to spend a bit of time with him and learn a bit. Maybe get a few wee. To be honest with you, I'm going to organise like a retreat. Retreat in the start of the year, and I've got myself and Mark Laurie, who's like a mindset coach who I've known for like 20 odd years. And I was thinking about recently, I'm going to ask Stevie if he would like to come in as well, and can add the three kind of components in fighting, mindset, and yoga.
Aye, I think he would like that, to be fair.
I know, definitely.
Right into that sort of thing. Aye, I think he would definitely.
The work that Stevie's doing now is amazing, helping people. The two of us are kind of doing the same thing. It's just we're doing it in different ways, but it complements each other as well. You know.
I like a lot of your motivational stuff that you see on Instagram. It's could be quite cutting sometimes, but I like you said on Kieran Apter's podcast. Was it Apter's party? Yep. Shout out to Kieran. Obviously you're not like that. It's just kind of for the 10-second TikTok brain on Instagram.
Of course,
grab the attention.
If I came out and say, "Hey guys, I want to help you with your problems," and they flick over. The social media is like a hard nut to crack. You need to get attention, right? a good example of this, in fact, is like yesterday I done a post about guys crying in the phone on social media for attention, which I think is fucking terrible, because it's that whole thing there is like insulting people that are going through real trauma. If you're going through real trauma, the last thing you've got to do is put a phone to your face and put it online. Obviously, right? So I made a video about it anyway, and I had guys saying, "Oh, do you think because you're tough and you've got cauliflower ears that you're hard?" And I was like, "Mate, that's not what I'm doing. Like, if you 90% of the people get my message. If you don't get the message, it's cool." And he was writing all these very kind of negative comments, and I says, "Look, what I do is help people. I'm trying to get a reaction. I can help people from this." That guy actually DM'd me last night after sending me abuse all day, and I says to him, "What is it you're going through, mate?" And he says, "I've like problems with drinking drugs, which a lot of people have and that." And I said, "Okay, what are you doing with your lifestyle?" And just a few wee questions I asked him, and I says, "Right, obviously offer coaching programs. I'm not going to even ask you about that just now. I've got a few wee things I'd like you to do. Report back to me in a week." And I just gave him like lots of advice and lots of advice and stuff to do. And like, I could have get insulted off him insulting me, but that's not the point, you know what I mean? So my whole point of that story is I'm getting an emotional reaction, and from that reaction, if you're able to get through the message, is I'd like a connection with you, and then from that connection, if I can help you, hopefully it works.
Aye. You've got a lot of people messaging you saying they're wanting to be a fighter, but then when it comes to training, they've got all the excuses. I like that video as well.
Aye, people on a Saturday night, if like a big fight's on and they're drunk, like 4 a.m, and that, I get a message, I want to start doing sessions and that. So I wake up, I'm never up that late. I wake up the next morning, "Cool, bro, right, this is what I do," and all that. Majority of them ghost me. It's Dutch courage. But to be fair, man, I've had a few of those messages. Like I get a lot of these messages. It's like they see my message and they see that I'm wanting to help people, or whatever, and they send their life story to me. "I've done this and I've done this and my wife's done this and I'm addicted to these things and stuff." And I do read every single one of them. So if I give like a bit of advice off that, and hopefully it helps them, may they go with God. But the ones that ask for the advice and then I follow up and say, "Did you do these things?" Like just simple things, like if you get up early, you stop drinking, you do just very simple things. And when they ghost me, I know they're not about it. They're not about wanting to really get helped. They're happy in that wee kind of rut. They're not happy. They're comfortable enough in that wee rut to not really want to do the change. You know.
The thing is, most people are stuck in the same cycle because that's previously maybe what their parents have been like, or it's like this getting out this cycle of drinking every weekend. To most folk, that's what you do at the weekend. Imagine getting up on a Saturday and training, going down and hitting pads. Like, to them, that's just crazy.
It's alien. But to me and you, because we're in that athletic kind of environment, it's normal to us, obviously, right? But I think there's an epidemic in Scotland, or even the UK or the Western world, whatever you want to say it. I'm just going to speak about my country, with drinking drugs. It's just everywhere. It's just everywhere, and it's so normal, is what you said. And when your mums and dads done it, then you continue to do it. But then people don't realise that that's actually killing a lot of our soul. For instance, we'll talk about cocaine, right? That's how many people take cocaine. You know, it's a mad epidemic, and people don't talk about what the problems in our society. People say it's this and this. It's the government. It's immigration. It's this, whatever. All these things that people have a problem with. But a lot of people don't say, "Well, what about the cocaine use that you and your friends are taking part in at the weekend?" And everybody's got a part to play in it. So if somebody's taking the cocaine, or somebody's watching them take it, or somebody's selling it, they've all got part to take with that problem. So I'm kind of trying my hardest to kind of get people to stop taking it and try and eradicate it as much as I can.
Aye, that's it.
Not just cocaine, drugs use in general, and too much drinking.
The thing is with cocaine is it's so glamorised as well in like TV and movies and.
Aye, that's probably a concentrated thing as well. I remember growing up in like rap music. I used to like rap music. Turns out they're all fucking gay now, and they're all shagging each other. I used to love rap music, and I used to think that they were all gangsters, and it was like a cool thing to be, and all that. And then it turns out 20 years later they're all full of crap, and it's not really like that. But I think it was kind of I don't know, these things kind of program you when you're younger, or influence you when you're younger is probably a better word.
Yep.
And then gangster movies and that can influence you when you're younger, and you think that's cool. So then when kids are seeing people taking cocaine and going, oh, that's pretty normal, I'm watching that on TV, I should maybe take that. But it's no, it's when you speak to people that went through the addictions and they're fucking up their life, you actually speak to them. For instance, I was in prison and I spent time with people that have really fucked up their life by either selling drugs or taking drugs. That's what you're surrounded with. And I really, really absorbed all that information in. And when you're around about these people, you really realise it's not glamorous. It's terrible. It needs to get evaporated from your society.
Aye.
If you can help it.
Well, definitely, because I mean, people are partying at the weekend, they feel great, maybe the Saturday night, but I mean, you're just not going to be feeling normal till the Thursday, and by that point they're thinking about getting back on it again.
That's it.
And it's just killing your motivation, your drive to do anything at your work Monday to Friday. Probably all you can think about is getting home to your bed, sitting doing nothing, missing training if you train. Like, it's just,
I don't know any successful men that are high functioning addicts, and a lot of people want to be successful. So there's a pattern there. You shouldn't be doing these things if you want to be successful. Alcohol as well. I don't know too many super successful alcoholics. And what people want in life, they want to drive for success and having like good relationships and good whatever, money, whatever these things. They're already putting a barrier up by taking too much drinking drugs. And for me, luckily, like, I'm in this martial arts space, and I can use the medium of martial arts to maybe help people get off drinking drugs. All my coaching is not just about helping people drinking drugs, it's with other problems as well, but the medium of martial arts is great, because in martial arts I've learned discipline, and I've learned self-regulation and control and self-belief, and I can articulate those messages to people so that maybe those messages will help people fight the bad habits that they've got.
Like I said to you off camera as well, the first video I saw was where you were talking about, right guys, let's instead of going for going out drinking or a bag of gear or whatever, I ask people to come and train with me, and nobody turns up because this is so important to them. And see, that just straight away, that just resonated with me, because that is the truth. Like, you think a lot of guys that maybe I was at school or whatever, they're just, that's their look that they're in. They hate their life, hate their work,
mate.
and then you're hearing great you would feel if you just missed that, had an early night, go up on a Sunday, come to the open mat or whatever, hit some pads, got some rolling. Like, it literally could change your life. Again, that sounds cheesy, but
oh, definitely will change your life. It should be what you want to do. If you're in that bad situation and you're overtaking drinking drugs, then you should be thinking about changing your life. You know what I mean? And people don't really admit that they're in a bad situation. People don't really admit they're addicted. You know what I mean? Like that. I've had problems with it. Don't want to go into too much detail, but I have went through these problems. Drink, maybe a bit, taking drugs when I shouldn't have. And it took me a while to really even say that I had a problem. I'm not saying I was going out drinking and taking drugs every day, but it bad enough, and the problem was that it altered my life and got me into trouble or got me feeling about a certain way. Do you know what I mean? That is a problem. So I came back from Spain. I'd been in trouble in Spain, and I came back, and I've not really seen my pals for like 5 years. So I says to them, like, everybody works through the week, let's catch up on Sunday, let's go to the gym. And I'll go to the gym, no worries. Fucking 1 in the afternoon we're set it for, they don't answer the phone. And then 5 PM, 7 PM, don't answer the phone. 10 PM, no answer. Oh, sorry mate, I was not feeling well, or I was out last night, if they're honest. So I was doing this thing that I was training myself every Sunday. I was going to Doolan's, James Doolan's high level, and training my sparring. Then I was going to Sunday and doing my wee conditioning session. I was just calling it Solitude Sunday, because I'm just by myself. Maybe I bring my young son with me or whatever.
So you were sparring and then you were doing strength and conditioning?
Aye.
Fair play, yeah.
Or just maybe going to run the treadmill, just because I like being in the gym. It's enjoyable. That's what I'm saying. It's enjoyable for me, right? And nobody would turn up, so I said, right, I want to do one of these big walks like Ben Lomond or something like that. I've never done anything like that, and I've never took advantage of Scotland or a cold dip. I was like, I'd love to do that, but nobody's fucking about on a Sunday to do it. And Sunday's a great day because everybody's out on a Saturday, Sunday early as well. So on my Instagram, got a few followers and that were reading it. I said, guys, I'm up for doing something Sunday, and then all these people started coming in, and I was just messaging all these people I knew, and it grew into like a wee kind of Sunday club, and we're going out every week, like going to different Monroe's, going to cold dip water, doing a bit of training. It's been quite cool, man, to be honest with you, and it's just a wee kind of community that we've grew, you know. Right now, I'm back training at a higher level, and I'm not able to do it for the next few weeks, but it's still going strong. Right. There's Bobby McVitie, which is a fighter for Greenock. That was out back in the day, fought everybody, about 22 odd fights, professional. And I wasn't really mega close to him back in the day, like spoke to him and that, but then now we've ended up really pally, and he's like took us down to Greenock for a session with his team, and we went walking up a hill and it was in the snow, and he's walking about with shorts on, and
I seen that
just cool guys. Some of the guys that were in it in the wee group were like really bad with drinking drugs, mate, like really, really bad, and didn't have anything to do. And their own environment. See, you were saying about like your mum and dad drinking that's like your environment, like your friends and stuff like that are involved with that. Their environment was just full of that. They never had guys that go walking on a Sunday. Even me as well, that's what I said, my pals don't do it. So I kind of helped create this wee thing, and then it's been class, man. It's been really good.
To be fair, I should say, like, mum and dad's not got a problem with alcohol or that.
I'm not saying your mum and dad, I'm
just
saying,
mean like the culture of the previous generation.
That's exactly what I mean.
Aye, that's fine. Just to clarify, in case my mum's listening to this.
No. People in general's environment, you know exactly what you mean.
Just the previous generations as well, though, because I mean, like, even like some people you work with, even in this generation, to be fair, it's like, you're not going to the pub on a Friday for, again, we're going back at the same ground here, but it's a generational thing, and I think it's only through martial arts that my mindset's changed, because I used to be in that loop as well. Can like no like a problem or anything, but just literally that's what you done. You had a beer on a Friday, and you were rough on a Sunday, and
I had a wee time in, like, for instance, Spain. There, I'd never been a mad drinker, but I was with myself a lot. And then fucking was partying, and then a couple of days of partying, and that's just not good, you know what I mean? Even in the past when I was younger, a couple of days of partying is just terrible on your body and your mind. And you think, I don't know, you think you're cool, or you think you're game, or you think you're hard because you're doing it. I don't even know what I thought, but you're just weak. You're just soft. That's me being soft. And you can strengthen that weakness, mate, right? So the weakness of fulfilling yourself or rewarding yourself with drinking drugs because you've had a hard day at work or going through a hard situation, that's the wrong solution. That's not the solution. What is the solution? Go to the gym on a Sunday, get fit, become a brown belt, compete in people, fight in MMA, and do you know what I mean? Do things like that. Go a big long run, or go cold water dipping. These are solutions to small problems. But the small problems that we have, a lot of people want the solution. Well, let's take a line of gear. You feel good for 4.5 minutes, and you want to take another one. It's not really a solution, is it?
No, it's the money as well, eh? Crazy money.
There you go, mate. There you go.
So if you see through your Sunday thing that you're doing, and your online mental fortitude training that you're doing, is there any guys that you've helped? You didn't need to obviously mention their names, but just anybody that you could give us as an example?
My mental fortitude training, I've been doing that for a while. Since I came out of prison a few months ago, I kind of regenerated my stuff online. I had like a free kind of community that I'd done. I had like 500 members in it, and we were helping each other, and that was really cool. And then added with that, with the Sunday groups, the training I'm doing, and the mental fortitude training I'm doing, I've helped over like 1,000 people since I've come out. Even just small things, or heavy coaching, whatever level, even just helping them was like a blessing to be able to do that, you know. My mental fortitude training it's an online kind of coaching program, and basically I'm just giving people the ability to build like a strong routine, better habits, to get disciplined, and combat these bad habits that people are going through. So one guy in particular, he's actually from the Middle East, and he's a professional football player or something like that, or professional athlete. He's a football player, and he was going through some things with serious confidence issues, and I was just giving him some of the examples that I'd done to build confidence, going through some, for instance, fasting builds a bit of mental resilience, getting up early in the morning, just basic things that people forget about, organising his day. And he actually came and met me, came and visited me from the Middle East.
Oh, is this online, like, right?
This was online coaching, and he came and visited me and spent a week with me.
Really?
And trained with me, aye. And it was mad, because in the training that we done, it was martial arts specific, but the whole concept of it was to like, build his mental fortitude. And one of the sessions that we do, I don't want to get into detail what I do, but it's like kind of sparring session, but it's the reasons that I do the sparring in this certain way. He started crying, he started bawling of tears, and it was dead emotional. I didn't really know what to say to him. I kind of hugged him and that, and I was like, "You're all right, mate." So what he'd went through when he was younger was he was seriously bullied in school, and it's just no left him. So he'd no confidence with women and stuff like that, and it was hard. And he was like, "Nah, he can make money." He was a career as a football player, and that wee confidence building thing with the online coaching and then the sparring kind of training sessions that I've done with him, he's flying now. I spoke to him the other week, man. He's big happy, and do you know what I mean? Maybe just wee things like that would help people's lives, like a sparring session or a heavy training session, or getting somebody in a routine of like, you need to go up at this certain time, you need to fast these certain days, and some of the other things that I do I don't know what to get into, but it's specific to the individual. So his problem was he'd no confidence, or he'd lacked confidence from being bullied as younger. So I let him face a bit of adversity. This fucking 68 kilo fucking cage fighter throwing punches at you, it's a bit of adversity for some people that have never fought, you know what I mean? And then after it, I'm pretty sure I've helped him in a good way.
That's class, man. I see you've been filming a movie as well, eh?
Aye.
Back in the jail.
Back in the jail, bit on the run, I'm a screw now. Aye, that was class. Off my Instagram again, or the videos that I'm doing, a guy, Gary Fraser, messaged me, and he's like, we're kind of talking back and forth, and then he says to him, I've got this movie coming out, and I was like, cool, and he says, it's in prison. I was like, fuck, okay. And then he's like, but you'd be a screw, like a wee hard man, like aggressive screw to the prisoners and that. And it was cool, so I didn't really know much of the setup, what was happening in that, so I went in, I've never acted before, and he's gave me like what I have to do and my lines and stuff like that, and I thought I was just getting one part with like minimum lines. No, I've ended up with like a major part in it, and I've had to like bring out emotions and stuff like that. Aye, it was class. I don't know, it was a really, really cool thing. So I feel really confident in front of a camera. I don't shy away. I think that's very, very hard for people to go over, right? But I feel really confident in front of a camera. So I don't know, I'm going to apply, maybe speak to a few agents and see if I can have a wee go at it, you know?
Aye, well, you know, eh?
No bad, man, no bad wee job at it.
You've definitely got the character, mate, I'll give you that.
Aye, but even acting as somebody else as well.
True. You had to go to lessons, or were you just learning on the
I'd
job?
I'd be up for that to make it better if I had to, but I'd just been in front of a camera, so obviously I'm playing the role of somebody that wasn't really me, it was like a whole different person, and one of the scenes I had to like be hard, and that's quite easy for me, I had to be hard, and then another scene I had to like get right emotional and right deep, and it was thrown on me at last minute that I had to do that, which was even 10 times harder.
Aye.
But I done it in one take.
Did you?
And I said something that was quite, I let the film come out, but I said something and it was like I made something up that was quite personal, a personal thing that happened to me.
Right.
And one of the other actors went, did that really happen to you? And I was like, no, it was acting, but it was quite cool the way I done it, you know what I mean? So it was class.
Because you've had some life, again, shout out to Kieran again, but obviously in the podcast you spoke about what happened to you when you were younger, when you were out in Glasgow, and just listening to that, I was like, was it for anybody that doesn't know what happened, you got stabbed?
Aye, it's just Kieran's a good podcaster. A shout out to him, man. He got quite a good story with me there. But when I was younger, I'd been stabbed on 2 occasions.
Was it a bottle they stabbed you with?
No, a knife.
Oh, it was a knife.
One was, well, I've never really seen them happen, but it was like knives that stabbed me. But somebody would carry a knife purposely,
right,
looking for trouble. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just a random guy hitting a bottle.
Right.
First time it happened, I was in a chip shop. Somebody'd said something kind of like about my sister or something like something about my family, and so I've started battering him, and I'm punching his head in, obviously, because I was a boxer on that, and I've looked down and I've got blood all on my shirt, And I stabbed fucky.
Oh, it's in the chip shop at Ham's?
Aye, in the chip shop, we're in the queue, and then we started fighting. So he's ran down the street, obviously,
Right.
concussed or whatever, and I've been plugged and get blood coming out my
Didn't you
t-shirt
feel
and
it at the
stuff like
time, just with
that. It
the...
was like a dead arm.
Really?
It was like that.
Wow.
I don't feel it at the time because you're full of adrenaline, but after
Aye.
it you felt as if you had a dead arm, and I'm looking and I'm all stabbed. And then the next time, which was a more kind of harder one, as I've spoke about in the past and that, but there was like a gang of people that we were kind of fighting, this different gang that we were arguing with, and had a few altercations and that, and they heavily outnumbered us, chased us. One of my mates get kind of knocked out, 3 other guys ran away, and then I've turned into them, and they've just fucking held me down, put my hands behind my back, stabbed into me, they slashed my face as well. But to be honest with you, it's just in my past, and it is what it is. I didn't die for it, and it's been a character building experience, you know.
Aye.
And it's probably carried me for MMA maybe a wee bit, maybe given me, how would I say this, maybe I don't fear an opponent, you know what I mean, because I've went through that. Maybe that's what's helped that, you know what I mean. I don't get nerves in that I'm incapacitated and I know what to fight. I get nervous energy and adrenaline, and fear hits me as if what's going to happen in the fight, but I don't fear any man. Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe that's helped me with that.
Aye. Yeah, I noticed that you've got Ant Middleton's book, the SAS. Have you read the Fear
I've
Bubble?
not read it. I've not read it yet. I mean, I'm going to read it.
In fact, I actually asked you
you asked me about it. No, I've not read
Aye,
it yet.
aye.
The Fear Bubble. I've not read it yet.
You know, aye. To be
Sounds
fair,
good.
if you're no, if you feel like you're not getting issues with the nerves, then that's kind of what it was about. Is like
Right.
breaking the fear down into like manageable bubbles, essentially. So he was discussing it, but rather than letting it overcome you. Well, I don't know if you heard Stevie talking about it. It was like if you can, you're fighting. Say you're the co-main event. You're basically, there's no point in being nervous at the airport or 2 weeks before you even leave. It's all about, because sometimes like that could pop in your head. Oh, what if I get knocked out or whatever, or if this happens or whatever, and it could consume you that early and right up to the fight. Whereas if you're breaking it down into manageable bubbles,
That's a very strategic way of thinking it, man. I'm going to read that book. In fact, that sounds cool. And Stevie's a good example of speaking that, because he's been in high level situations with that where it's been necessary.
well, it was the Johnson fight, so I mean there couldn't have been anything bigger than that at the time. That was before obviously the Pettis fight. So
Fear. I think a lot it comes from overthinking. Analysis paralysis. You overthink. A lot of your thoughts are negative. I don't know what they say that you think 10,000 thoughts a day, and like 80% of them are negative.
really,
And I try and limit the way I think. Being sober and eating well and training and having a good relationship with people obviously helps you think better and think less negative. So if you're hungover, you're not going to think good the next day, or if you're eating shit food, you're not going to think good the next day, or if you're actively arguing with your partner, you're not going to be thinking good the next day. Do you know what I mean? So I try and create good habits myself, just the way that I think. I'm disciplined with the way that I think. I'm disciplined with the things that I say, and I try and create that negative shit in my head that doesn't have to be there. Overthinking, I mean.
because did I hear you saying as well that you've studied a lot of psychology stuff as well? Was that since you were when you were in prison you started reading a lot of psychology books? I thought that was quite interesting.
Really interested in it all my life, and then obviously interested all my life, and I've always been a reader all my life. And in prison, the first few weeks, so I'm in like this international wing, and there was a big massive library, and they wouldn't let him in the library because I think people were getting in the library and doing drug deals and stuff like that. So I came into them and said, by the way, you're going to open that fucking library with no money, with nothing to keep us occupied in that. So I found it was a big massive, like 500 books or whatever, and I was reading like 3 or 4 a week. It was like, it was brilliant. Or maybe more than that, just because there's only so much time you can speak to people in prison, like play chess, and it gets a bit boring after a few weeks, you know what I mean? So I was just basically sitting like that the full time with my head in a book, and also writing as well. So and you're asking about psychology, I read some great books about it, and then I tried to resolute that with what I want to do in my life and my future. So I'm really big on like journaling or creating. For instance, like if you think of something, this is like from the psychology topic, if you think of something in the imaginative dimension, and then you physically create that onto a bit of paper, you're actually manifesting that and creating that into a physical form. So I was writing these books about I've done this all my life, but I was really focusing on it every day. I would be writing these books about, for instance, I'm going to do this on social media, I'm going to do this with my fighting, I'm going to do this with my coaching. True enough, a lot has come through.
Aye.
So when I do these wee kind of things that I'm talking about, like, this is part of my coaching as well. But honestly, mate, I read books for like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and a lot of it's came through, 80% of it's came through, or whatever the number would be. And I think that's what it is. You're creating it from the imaginative dimension into physical form, and then you have to, it's like sign a contract with yourself, you have to put it into action. I don't know if that's psychology or that's manifestation or a wee bit of metaphysics or whatever, but I like things like that.
Aye, because I remember you saying again in the previous podcast that when you got out, you were training with Robert, and Robert obviously had the PFL, and then you just started telling yourself, I'm fighting PFL, I'm fighting PFL, and then the next thing you're getting the offer to fight. Was it Dan that reached out to you for that, or how does it work with that?
The fight was Carol Prince. Carol Prince is the coach for Manchester top team.
Right.
And I've known him, kind of done a few fight shows with him, I'm kind of friendly with him and that stuff, and he's just concerned about me when I came out of jail, just thinking about me, like how his things, mate, and all that. Aye. I says, I want to fight, and then he says to me, do you want to go and fight in PFL in Newcastle? This is one before the one I fought on.
Yep.
Can you make your weight? And I says, I can make weight in blah, but I've not really done much combat training. And he's like, you'd get paid because, I was getting money to turn up, sorry, but I'd had a fight because the guys that pulled out in that bracket. So I'd had a fight, but to be honest with you, I wasn't ready to fight then. I was super fit, super conditioned, but I'd not done any. I'd done a wee bit of jiu-jitsu in the jail, to be honest with you, but nothing like fight ready stuff, you know.
Just drilling stuff, like when playing a bit.
No, just rolling, man. Just rolling every day. Like, no like intense rolling. The mats were paper thin, and it was like a dirty gym, and there wasn't a lot of space. But I was getting my hand on bodies. There was decent training in the gym, mate, in the jail. Sorry, it was decent training. It wasn't like the way I'm training now, obviously, because I'm in with concentrated fighters, but guys with great experience. There was like my mate, a guy that I'd known for 20 odd years, turns out he was like a jiu-jitsu brown belt, and he's saying to me, like, do you want to stick your mats down and roll? And we just rolled every day, and a wee bit heavier than me. That was good. And then there was a Ukrainian special forces boxing coach, and he was showing me like Soviet style boxing. So I did the pads with him and that. It's fucking fantastic, man.
What's the difference with that then?
It's the stance and the kind of different way that they move and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I didn't really like it. I like more the British and Irish. I think British and Irish style of boxing is the best, to be honest with you. But it was good. It was good to learn it, mate.
Interesting.
I've trained with some of the best coaches in the world. Like, to be honest with you, I've trained with like James Doolan, Robert Whiteford. There's two fantastic coaches there. Paul Weir, fantastic coach of boxing, world champion fighter. Alex Arthur. Trained at Freddie Roach's for a bit in America. I've trained at 10th Planet. I trained at 10th Planet. Mops, mate, and Jeremy
Skinner.
I trained with him for a wee bit. Like, I've travelled and I've done a bit, so I've learned off all these different coaches, you know. And I analyse it and then utilise it in my own coaching.
Mop was actually speaking to me about getting a match with one of the guys for must be one of Jeremy's guys from Amsterdam.
Oh, nice.
Brown belt guy. So at the ADCC.
That's class.
I'll wait to see if the guys
the ADCC
accepted
here.
it. The invitational. Aye.
And what is the deal with jiu-jitsu? Are you going to compete in it and try? Is there like a bracket or like rankings and stuff like that you're going to go on?
I'm not really sure how it's going to pan out, mate, to be honest. But this guy is decent. I think he's the head coach at 10th Planet Amsterdam. So, well, like I say, it's not confirmed yet. So,
good, mate.
Obviously, I'm up for it. So, but it's the weight. I think the guy's maybe normally a wee bit lighter. But I says I'll go to 77 since it's the day before.
Right.
So,
what are you doing now?
Right now, 84.
That's not too bad.
That's fine. It's just in the end of January though. I said to Stevie last night, and he said, are you wanting to enjoy your Christmas or are you wanting to train? And I was like, well, I've got the running shoes on this morning, and
I bet you'd feel a lot better doing that than having your normal Christmas.
See, if I had one big meal, then I'd be like, right, I've had enough. I want to train again.
To be honest with you, I was heavy as fuck the other day. Because I've just after my fight, I'd not really had food for a while because I was in my situation in Spain. So going to nice restaurants and that, and I'm fighting soon. I clocked on a bit too heavy. So the day I'm 2 days into a fast, a water fast, 48 hours I fasted for. I've got to just continue that to see how much I can go. And I'm not going to eat any shit at Christmas because this is me already in my camp. You know what I mean? So
true. How long you got to go?
7 weeks on Saturday, I think it is.
What's the date again?
I think it's at the 8th of February or something.
All right. Well,
Or
I
6th of
think
February.
this ADCC is before that actually. So,
Is it? Aye.
Aye.
But I've got a bit more than 7 kilo to go. I think.
Have you? Aye.
But
You're used to that though.
I'm not out. I can date any bother me. It's just discipline in it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to like fast the next few days, then get right on to my good diet, and then Christmas dinner's going to just be a normal meal to me. I can't really overdo it. I'm not going to be going out and stuff like that as well. So I actually think it's class. I think it's really good doing that.
You'd be alright if you're running. You could run Christmas morning.
I run anyway. I'll be fucking hopefully training Christmas Day. I don't really like the mad Christmas shit. I'd like to be in the gym. I'm in my gym every birthday and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And
if that's what you love doing, then why would you change?
it's just enjoyable for me, man.
Aye. Rather than what everybody else does at the drink. Back to that again.
Listen, take the drink out of it. Fucking else have you got today? There's not much else, is there?
That's it.
Spend time with the Waynes, obviously, but then obviously on Christmas Day, if the gym's open, I'm going to go and do a lot of training. Let them just chill with their toys and that.
You got young kids?
I've got 11, 8 and 3. 2 girls and a boy.
Aye, I've got a 3-year-old as well.
Aye. A boy or a lassie?
A boy, my lassie's 7.
Oh, right, cool.
Aye,
You 3-year-old 3? You was boy 3,
Oh,
sorry?
laddie's 3, aye.
Good.
I heard you saying that you've got your lad into wrestling already.
Aye. So he's I never said this the other day. I've not said this online or that, but so it was like a 10-week bracket, right? And he was going, loving it. Like I asked the coach could he go, and he was too young really, because the coach seen my page, he let him in. So he was going for like 6 weeks, twice a week, and then he get chicken pox and stopped going for a week, and then the next 2 weeks he was just crying, didn't want to go. I don't know what it was, maybe because he was no well or whatever. So the other last week they had a match for the last thing, and he was greeting for weeks, and I'm thinking I fucking would love him to do that because it's going to be good for him. And my dad was a pro fighter, and my brother is a pro wrestler. That's the kind of WWF wrestling.
Is it your brother?
Aye.
Is it really?
My wee boy loves him. My wee boy thinks he's like the man, right? So I've got they two to come to the wrestling match and watch. And Brian my wee boy was crying a wee bit at first, and I just says, right, cool, come on, your dad, your granddad, that's here. And he's get perked up. He's fought a wee boy about 5 and fucking pinned him.
Did they?
Smashed him. but honestly, like, after crying for a few weeks, he's went and done something.
It's
and I was
brilliant that he's overcome that at 3.
super proud of him, man. Even just that, exactly, overcoming the fact that it was fearful. No, the fact that he's young enough, the fact that he overcame that shit and just went into it.
And done it,
I'm super proud. And then he's got a wee swagger and he's loving it and that. Because I'm saying things to him, you're the champion now, you're the man. And he's like walking about loving it. So
when's he 4? Is he close to 4 or is he?
no, he's 4 in April.
Is he?
He's like so much younger than all the kids in it. But I think my wife's done a good job with him, man. He's switched on. My daughters as well, they obviously look after him and they kind of toughen him up as well. So
Aye. That's class. The other thing was, obviously we spoke about the movie that you're doing, but you're actually doing a music video as well. You keep yourself busy, Brian.
I get myself in front of the camera. Nah, just my mate done a music video last night. He's releasing a Christmas kind of song, and we were made a wee go at it, and it was like I fucking hate Christmas and dancing and all that shit. I'm not really like that, right? And it was like a dancing thing, so people were all dancing and I'm just standing there like in the middle, not moving. I felt a bit awkward, but he said it was alright. It turned out alright.
Where were you recording that a bit like? At a studio?
In Baileyson in a pub.
Right.
I've done 2 other music videos and all back in the day.
Aye.
I've done a belter. It was like a band, Urban Rye. Don't know if you've heard of that. It was kind of like a Glasgow Oasis back in the day.
Alright, aye.
And they done this video. It was like Football Factory, and all these football fans were fighting each other, and me and my mates get beat up, and we all acted in it. That was actually my first experience acting. And I've done another one, a bit of boxing kind of stuff as well. I've done a few of them. It's been good. It's been good fun.
So going like we're just kind of jumping about here, but one thing I did want to ask you was, obviously your initial training was boxing, because presumably because your dad was a boxer, eh? You said, and your granddad, I think you said that as well.
Aye, my dad and my granddad were boxers. Well, my first thing that I ever done was karate and Jeet Kune Do after that. But like a wee boy doing karate, you know what I mean?
I think everybody done karate.
Everybody done karate. My first fight was at karate at 4 against a lassie. And she beat me. That's a hard one, isn't it? My first fight was a lassie and I
To be
got beat.
fair, well done you coming back for that.
But my ma says that I had tonsillitis that week, so I wasn't really fit. You know what I mean? She's always sticks up for me. But first karate fight I get beat, and then I done boxing for like 14. I started really applying myself. So 14 to 19 I boxed like quite a lot. We kind of spells of stopping that, and like I wasn't the best boxer. I more quite a lot of wins and not as much losses or whatever, but I don't know, I think boxing, especially like amateur boxing, it was like computer scoring, it was like kind of point scoring kind of stuff. It wasn't really combative, it wasn't as combative as MMA. MMA is a fight, you get stuck in. It wasn't really like that, it was more like, it was beautiful though, stylistically it was like nice boxing and kind of like fencing a wee bit, to be honest with you, with the computer scoring. And like professional boxing would probably suit me better than that amateur kind of style. Do you know what I mean? Because I like to get stuck in and rough or whatever. But MMA, that resonated with me, especially when I knew that I understood how to take somebody down. I was like, that's quite easy for me because I'm short as fuck and I can just get on somebody's hips easy. And if I was going to pick the two of them, but MMA obviously I'd pick that all day long. That's my favourite sport. But I like boxing. I wrote a post last night. In fact, I think I love boxing, but I think wrestling is the daddy. Wrestling is the best martial art. I think if you want to pick out the fight, whatever ones, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing, whatever. I think wrestling, if you've got that down to a T, you're kind of going to win.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, you see that in the UFC.
It's statistically proven. Do you know? I've been doing my wee son's class. I've been doing wrestling at that class as well. Actually, just pure wrestling. I might actually compete in it. I might do a wee few competitions. I fancy that. They're just the same way you do a jiu-jitsu competition, but I like it.
Every time I'm doing wrestling, I just end up resorting back to what you're used to. You're supposed to be trying to scramble back up, and then the next thing you're using your butterfly hooks and that.
Aye, see, I don't.
It's hard to get out of that.
I've never really been a guard guy because I'm just. I don't know. It's never suited my body. Guys with long legs are going to go for like triangles and stuff like that. But I like to be on top, and it's just because I was always doing MMA as well. I like to be in that position, but I feel like I struggle in a jiu-jitsu class when guys have been used to doing that off the back. You know what I mean? Because when you're in MMA, people don't really use the guard as much in an MMA class, an MMA session, sorry. But you're in a pure jiu-jitsu class, you're getting fucking goal-platted and fucking berimbolo and all that. And I don't have a clue how to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, just basic kind of knowledge of how to kind of position my base and stuff like that. But I'm going to do more jiu-jitsu. I really, really do enjoy it, man. I'm going to do more jiu-jitsu.
Where are you going for that? The grip, or are you just going to jump in at higher level as well?
Maybe higher level or something. But I mean, actually get a gi on and try and apply and get myself belted and stuff like that. You know, I love the sport, man. That's good.
It's nice to get recognition as well, for like your ability.
100%. I've been a blue belt for like fucking 15 years because I never go to the classes, but I'd love to get more up the belts, man.
Aye, because you went to Brazil, didn't you, and done, was it Brazil top team, I want to say?
Brazil top team.
You'd have done jiu-jitsu there as well then, or was it just all
It was
MMA
more
sparring?
jiu-jitsu, mate. It was more jiu-jitsu. That was like pure jiu-jitsu, pure jiu-jitsu. A lot of them were on a garden that, because I'm not the best fucking jiu-jitsu guy, but I was terrible before I went there. Like terrible. I was just, and then I came back and I was tapping everybody. I was quite good at it.
And were you fighting MMA at that point as well?
I was a pro MMA fighter.
You're a pro MMA?
Aye, pro MMA fighter.
Aye.
That was kind of the summer before my third pro fight, and my third pro fight was like a 20 seconds knockout win. It was like one of my best performances, I think.
Aye.
It's just I was right in that combat mode, you know.
Aye. Who did
De La Riva as well. We trained at De La Riva, so De La Riva guard.
That's cool,
we trained with him as well.
Jim,
He's a quite a cool guy, man.
Aye, quite cool to hear a move named after you.
I know, man. I know. Quite a cool guy, man.
Aye. Where did you get your blue at? The Grip House.
Grip House, aye.
Aye. Was that Paul McVeigh?
Paul McVeigh and Gary Christie.
Gary,
I think Robert Whiteford got it the same day, and he's still a blue belt as well. He's definitely
still a blue belt as well.
I don't think he's Disney Day Jiu-Jitsu,
Never do, no.
but he's black. He went to Brazil, in fact, and fucking were wearing blue belts, and he's a black belt Commonwealth Games medalist, and Brazilians are going, he's definitely not a blue belt.
Aye, and judo, like, aye.
And judo,
aye.
But it translates, mate. Judo just translates.
Oh, definitely.
Better,
Aye,
I mean?
aye. You get somebody that comes in that's new, that's a judo black belt. It's a different ball game.
Or a right good wrestler. See, I was training back in the day, going to jiu-jitsu classes, and a right good wrestler comes in. You're fucking, it's hard to deal with. You know what I mean?
Aye.
That's how I like my son doing wrestling. Do you know? Because it's basic. It's more basic learning wrestling. But just when he starts to get the feel of it, how to use the mat, and that's his first his first kind of time, his first experience with martial arts.
Aye.
I think it's like purer for him, you know what I mean?
It keeps him away for the head knocks as well, eh? They want to start really, I mean, you would say grappling to start with, maybe judo or whatever, and then you could start maybe some striking. What do you think? Like,
Aye, so my plan with it is grappling. Just say I'm going to speak about my son, I'm going to train a child, right? My plan is get him wrestling, then get him more grappling, tie in with the wrestling as he's like 4, 5, 6, 7, jiu-jitsu, and then MMA wrestling, and then obviously I do pads him anyway. He knows how to throw a punch, he knows how to keep his hands up, he knows how to
brilliant at 3.
Aye, he knows how to he stands like that. My 2 daughters do it as well. And then keep the striking up, like technical. Maybe light playing about sparring with myself. Maybe get a kid that I know, do you know what I mean, to go light on him, and then try and let him just spar when he's about 13, 14.
Footwork drills as well, probably. Eh? Footwork drills for boxing.
He does all that. I do that. He goes in the gym all the time. I do we games with him and stuff like that. Hits the pads ways, hits the bag ways. I'm right into that. It's because my dad taught me how to do that. That's how I translate. That's how I communicate with my children. Is like to teach them that, you know.
Aye. Well, not everybody's dad's a professional fighter, so they've got to make the most of it. Eh?
Exactly.
Well, if they want to, that is, but certainly I feel like a fitness aspect.
Just being in the gym's good, mate.
It is. It's a great atmosphere. My daughter comes with me sometimes. It's not that easy, to be fair, because obviously you've got a mat full of guys sparring, and they're about to run on the mat and they're about to be beside you, but it's a bit of a dangerous environment for them.
My kids have been in gyms a lot. I was living in Portugal, and there was like a wee kind of gym that I trained in, and it was like a family unit, mate. It was just my kids were there all the time. My son is alright in a gym. He's 3-year-old, right? But if I'm doing a coaching session or a PT, he does actually dad, and I'm like, fuck's sake, shut up. So it's more, I think it's annoying for the client sometimes or whatever, but they always say, no, he's cool, and they enjoy it. But my daughters are cool. They sit and watch, and my oldest daughter was taking part in the jiu-jitsu classes in Portugal with us. So and the two of them can throw a punch as well, but I don't really want my lasses doing it. I don't think they're not really seem interested in it anyway, but
it's important that they can defend themselves, though, if anything was to happen.
That's important. Or even just with the way that I've taught my girls how to box, they're aware of the danger of a strike. So for instance, somebody throws a strike, they know it's coming, and they can maybe evade for it and stuff like that. I've been teaching them stuff like that, but I don't want them to get in and spar and stuff like that. As I said, they're not interested in it.
What I was going to do at the end was, there's a few guys have messaged in some questions for you, but before I do that, is there anything else that we've not covered that you wanted to actually mention that you're doing, any other projects that I've missed?
No, just I'm focusing on my coaching now. Focusing on my coaching. I'm trying to build a platform that men who are going through such problems can come to me, and then through the medium of martial arts is the way that I articulate this message. Hopefully strengthen their habits, build some discipline, build some mental resilience and mental fortitude. And I think it's important. But I said this before, and online, when I talk online and say these things, like, a lot of people are too busy to say that they've got mental health issues, and that is a thing. Obviously, definitely it's an issue that people have got mental health problems and that, but my experience, and people I know's experience, and people I love's experience, they've went for medical help and been offered a tablet. So you feel depressed, try that. You can't go to sleep, try that. You can't get a hard one, try that. But these things work, and I'm not a doctor, but obviously these tablets, there's an economy in these tablets. Somebody somewhere pays for these taxpayers, even if it's free healthcare. The taxpayers paying for these tablets. Is it really helping, or is it legalised drug dealing? Because they're not really saying, they're not always saying lifestyle habits. Do you go to the gym? Do you practice meditation? How's your diet? Are you stopping doing this? Do you know what I mean? I've not heard a lot of people being asked these questions when I speak to them about it. So I'm not saying I'm better than a doctor, I definitely don't mean that, but I'm saying maybe rather than worry about having a mental illness, maybe you just are weak in the moment, mentally weak in the moment, which isn't a bad thing. We're all mentally weak in the moment. I can be mentally weak, everybody can. You can be mentally weak for days, months, years, but these mental issues, maybe you can strengthen them, because you can strengthen yourself physically, you can strengthen yourself spiritually, you can strengthen yourself mentally. And I think, or I know that these things that I'm help people with, they work for me. And they've worked for a lot of people that I've shown. And my message on Instagram might not show that exactly, but as I said, the interaction might allow me to speak about this and eventually help you with it.
So what's your, well, Kim, I was going to say actually, you've come back for, like, you've been really low in terms of where you've been in your life, and you've came back to fighting in the PFL, for example, or even just back to how, like, strong mentally you are, and like what's your message for people out there that feel like maybe there's no coming back for how they're feeling right now?
My message is, it's all a test. It's all a test. It's all a test. All these things that we go through are all just tests. Life's a big test. So don't get too hung up on it. I've said this many times, I say this in my videos. So if you've got this major problem in your life, it will pass. And all you have to do is be patient. Patience. I pray as well. So patience and prayer for me go hand in hand. Like, I've got prayer's gratitude, patience is patience. So if I haven't get through a heavy problem, I've went through enough in my life to know, and I've got the experience to know that it will pass. Not everybody has. So I've got the mental resilience and the experience to exert patience. I can be patient through that period, do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say, it's a test. So if you realise that a lot of these things are tests, like for instance, your wife's left you, or you've been cheated on, or you're whatever the problem is, right? You're going to cure for that broken heart, if that's what it is. That's going to heal. Because a lot of people go through these problems, and a lot of people, suicide gets committed through these things as well, you know. You will heal for it, but you need to understand that it is just a time in your life that will pass. So if you exert patience, and another thing is like gratitude, whatever way you want to call it, if you want to do it religiously, if you want to do it spirituality, or if you want to just do it however you do it, you need to always offer gratitude. Offer gratitude for the fact that you've been tested, because that test is going to make you a better, stronger man.
There was actually, I'm sure there was a question for the fan questions that was kind of similar to that, so no, I repeat it too much, but Rory McDonald was wondering, see your experience in prison, well, I think you've just answered this question, to be fair. Was your experience in prison all negative, or was it a great time to reflect? Which you've basically just covered that a bit.
Oh, my time in prison was, what's his name, Rory?
Rory, yeah.
And my time, Rory, in prison was fantastic, don't worry about it, it was great. It was right, obviously, externally, my family were going through some shit and I was worried about them and that, oh man, God, that was terrible. But the experience is what I'm trying to say, what I just said there, like, it was just a test, it was just an experience in my life that made me a better character, a stronger man, and I think it made me a better man. I think it made me more spiritual, more faithful, like more appreciative of my creator that I believe in, which was really important for me, because it really allowed me to do that perfectly. It made me fitter. I came out 6-pack, super fit, the heaviest I've ever lifted, the most miles I've ever ran. So that was cool. That was like a training camp. And it showed me that, say there was like 2 paths I could have led on. It showed me that one path was definitely no good.
Aye.
And maybe you had to get hit hard to find out. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to get hit hard to find out that the shit you're doing doesn't work. So aye, man, thumbs up for me.
There'll be many people that say that as well. That's a really positive.
I don't really recommend throwing yourself in jail, but I swear it did do a lot for me, man.
Brilliant, man. A great attitude, I love it.
Good man, cheers.
This guy's name is obviously, isn't it? This is his Instagram name, Funkman Frank. Just asking, what would be your dream fight, dead or alive? So just MMA, boxing.
Oh, that's class. That's a good fucking brilliant question, mate. My dream fight, but any weight though, that's because I'm wee in it. There's not a lot of guys wee in it.
Probably hate to stick with your weight, I would say.
Oh, that's harder than.
Who's your favourite fighter?
My favourite fighter ever. I've got too many, mate. My favourite fighter, Roberto Duran. I'd like to fight Roberto Duran. He's no my, well, probably was my weight. In fact, he was lightweight at one point, wasn't he? Roberto Duran. I'd love to have a good go with him. Aye, I actually met him, I know, in fact, so I did. I met him in Ken Buchanan when I was a young kid. Roberto Duran was a man, just super tough. Mad, came through that life that he was like swimming to an island to get bananas, to swim back and feed his family, and lived on the streets. Like, he was a real man, you know what I mean? And fought through all these weight categories. I seen a video the other day, like long after he was competing at a good level, he was sparring with Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn was a world champion. He was kind of giving it to Nigel Benn. Sorry, the battle Duran, man.
What about right now? Who's your favourite fighter in, say, UFC?
See,
do you like watching?
See, I don't really watch UFC.
No?
No, I'm not a big fan of watching fucking, like, I watch maybe a clip of something, and I don't sit and watch a fight too much. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of it, but I like homegrown talent. I like watching like my pals or people in the UK scene and Europe scene. I like watching maybe Cage Warriors or PFL more. Like, if the UFC's want to watch it, but I'm not a big mad fan of watching martial arts, to be honest with you, bro. Even boxing, I don't really watch much boxing anymore.
Aye. I know a lot of the boxing, I feel like it's, especially like Tyson Fury and that sort of boxing, I think it's that enjoyable. I'd rather see two really slick head movement, like Canelo, somebody like Mayweather, that kind of boxing, rather than just...
Better Bev and Bivol was a good fight. That was the best fight I've seen in a long time.
Was that one before?
That was on a few months ago in Saudi. Two Russian guys. That was a sick fight, yeah, it was good. That was a good thing. A lot of people could have said Bivol won, but I like Better Bev, so I was kind of happy. And he's older as well, he's like 39 or something like that, and he got the win. But that was a good fight. See, with boxing, man, I love boxing, but there is a lot of shady shit that happens in it in terms of like the business of it and that, and a lot of people don't like to admit it too much, but it's MMA is a better sport in that regard purely. What do I mean by that is you just get the best fight the best in MMA immediately. But that guy, the Sheikh in Saudi Arabia, he's kind of creating in boxing to be good again. That was he promoted that fight. I think he's trying to buy out with all the money he's got, like buy out all the old guard like promoters and make a big league. That'd be really impressive.
I think what you mean, rather than them like padding their records and hiding them for the...
No, just the padding, like this promoter will only let a fighter fight this guy for his promotion and
Well, they're not getting the money trying to run it though if their top guy gets beat.
That's it.
That's the problem.
But then you can also say that UFC isn't good as well the way they do it, because they don't pay the fighters too well. But they're in like this... They're already in. Dana White's created the best of the best, and they need to fight. And see, to be honest with you, bro, I'd fight in the UFC for free. Like, a lot of people would do it for free. A lot of great fighters would do it for good fighters would do it for free. Sorry, so I think it's like the money's. He's quite clever the way he's done that, because it's such a prestigious thing to fight in. Do you know what I mean?
The PFL are doing well with what they're doing with Europe. They're bringing it like grassroots, trying to.
PFL done me really well, man. Like, fantastic organisation. I watch more PFL now, in fact, to be honest with you, especially the European shows that have been happening. And I've always just watched like the Scottish guys and some of the English guys I've trained with and that. I like a wee connection with them, and I'll support them more. Do you know what I mean? And then waking up at 5 in to fucking watch a fight doesn't really interest me. Do you know what I mean?
I always just record it, watch the next day. You've been keeping up with like Clancy's fights.
He's
looking unreal.
So I'm pally with Clancy's dad, Sean, and they were just young boys. I think I actually went to Sean Clancy's first amateur fight.
Was it on top? I think I was at that.
Was it pro fight? No, I think it was
his
an amateur.
Sorry,
his first amateur fight.
Was it not on top, or was it Headhunters maybe? There's definitely a show I was at. He was fighting. It wasn't his first, to be fair.
How long ago?
6 years ago.
I was at that 6 years ago. 6 years ago.
Sure, it was on top then.
2018. No, I think it was maybe Headhunter. I don't know. I can't really remember.
It was one of the two, I think.
Right. Headhunters. I think I was at that. I think I was at that.
Mark Ewan was fighting that night as well, I'm sure.
Oh,
he was still with them at that point as well.
And Sean Taylor fought it as well, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that was the same.
Was he higher level as well? Like,
he was, So anyway, like, I'm pally with Sean, their dad, and fucking, you're a really cool guy, mate. Really, really super cool guy. And I've said this before a few times and that. Like, I like the way, see in general on that subject, in fact, MMA is more professional. Even the amateurs are just fucking amazing. The way they live their life, the way they train. So we're talking about Sean Clancy and Stephen Clancy and that. Like, they're super professional guys. Like, just, you can see it ripping at them. You know what I mean? Even Stephen's an amateur, you know. But in general, all the amateurs in MMA are like that. Whereas I know boxers that are fucking fighting in a few weeks and are sniffing gear. Like, I'm not saying it's just boxers, maybe MMA fighters, but in my experience, there's a more professionalism in the MMA scene that I'm kind of part of.
It's maybe just part of the clubs that you're involved with, because obviously James doesn't suffer fools, and if there's anybody not pulling their weight, they'll be out the team.
Aye, and Robert as well. He's like, if you fuck about with him, you're out. You don't. It's it's a hard thing to train with him if you're messing about. So he keeps me on the straight path. You know what I mean? Even outside training and life in general. So I'm kind of blessed the way that I train. I trained the Grip House as well, D Unit, and then all the wee bits of travelling. I trained Great Britain top team in London. I trained with Brad Pickett's gym. Trained at Liverpool, Manchester, a few wee gyms and that. I've got a boot in the UK. I love the scene, mate. It's class. I like it. Even some of the older guys that I fought way back in the day, now they've got fighters, and I'll support their fighters now. You know what I mean?
Class,
It's class. MMA is fucking brilliant out here, man. Actually, shows here, there isn't as much shows here in Scotland though as what there used to, because there was On Top and then SFC and Vision. They were like bringing out big mad pro shows and that, but I don't know, there's no hunters of them. Well, if I've came out, I've not really noticed it.
Well, funny enough, you should say that. We're the sponsor for the day is actually Braveheart Promotions. That's going to be, what's the date, Callum?
July 26th.
July 26th. It's Stevie and another guy for our gym that's running it. I don't know if you've seen it.
Nice.
That's the sponsor for this week, Callum.
That or or Stevie's website.
Oh, true. I'm forgetting about the website as well, actually.
That'd be class.
One of our sponsors.
That'd be good. Stevie's the godfather into me. He's just done it all, he's such a nice guy. I remember years ago when I was maybe 10, 13 years ago or something. I was training at Dillon's high level, and he'd just moved for his gym to Dillon's. He was edge to Dillon's, and I remember I used to drive him up the road after his sessions, and he'd moved his family from here to up in Whitburn. I just always remember thinking to myself, he's going to make it. Hopefully, God willing, he makes it. And he did fucking fantastic. But I see that determination to bring your family one place to the other and just hustle away. And that's the utmost respect for me. That
the mindset. I mind him telling my story where he's had no money. He might have been fighting in Cage Warriors at the time, and as you can, the money's no great. The car's broken down, so he's like cycling to training. It's like anything just to get to training. Like that is the mindset that you need.
That's it.
I wish I thought like that when I was in my early 20s, rather than.
I wish I fought that when I fought and all. It fucking. I was fighting, doing well, and then trying to chase other things as well, which, you know what I mean. That we road, but
it's hard going if there's no money then at the way. So
you've got to make money. There's fuck all money. And I had a family as well. I had a wee kid to provide for, and then another kid, and it's like, it's a hard game if you're not making dough, you know. Mm-hmm. Even now, like, I think now it's easier to make dough, but unless you're right up there, like in good shows and like winning all the time, you're probably not making much dough as well. So you need to supplement that with your work. You know what I mean? Obviously, I just like competing now. I just want to fight as much as I can. Obviously, I'm competing to win, obviously, but I don't care about where I'm fighting. I don't care about how much money I'm getting. I just want to get in and have a go, because it's the training camp, the diet, the hanging about with socialising with people. That's my social network. Just going to the gym. It's just so purposeful to me. You know what I mean? It's so purposeful to me.
Just saying something to focus on as well. You know, you've got to be ready for this date. You've got to be on weight. It just gives you the reason to just get the trainers back on in the morning and go for a run.
Brilliant. And then also I work in like fitness and stuff like that as well. So I'm coaching people in the gym. I can kind of grab them, do things with them. It's. I'd always have thought about what my ideal life would be, and it's kind of hard to think about, but I'm kind of living a good life now. I'm not making like millions of pounds of what I'm doing, but I'm maybe doing what I want to do, which maybe makes it better. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's more important, as long as you've got enough.
I've got enough. I've got a decent living in that, but I'm saying I'm not chasing money now. I'm chasing like fulfillment and purpose, and that's give me back so much benefits as well, you know what I mean?
How's your crypto looking just now?
I've donated a lot of money to crypto, the markets.
That's booming just now,
past,
so must be doing right.
I've made a lot of losses with crypto in the past.
You pulled it?
I think I get scammed.
Really?
Nah, so I think somebody hacked into my fucking phone or something, took about 50 grand out my crypto thing. I don't know what happened. It's just I've came to deals with it, but I lost a good bit of money off it, and that was me investing money and stuff like that. So it went up and down and up and down and up and down, and then I don't even fucking revealed that to any cunt. It's pure embarrassing. But I think somebody's hacked my phone and
Really?
fucking screenshot my passwords and shit like that. I think.
Wow, that's a lot.
I lost a good bit of doing it. It is what it is. Life character building episode. It's not going to do anything. It's
Really?
a test.
It's a test. Have you got any sponsors or that you want to mention while we're on? Or?
Nah. Just MD want to delve into some things I'm speaking about. Go onto my Instagram at Brian Hyslop, and if you're going through some stuff, let me see if I can help you.
Aye, brilliant. Perfect. Thanks very much.
Cheers,
Carl.
mate. That was class.
Thanks very much.
Cheers
buddy.
guys.